Remember the first time you watched Rugrats and felt like the world suddenly shrunk to knee height? That wasn't an accident. From its very first shot, the show built a visual language that made us live inside a baby's head. An art style so specific that nothing else could have worked. Rugrats is a groundbreaking animated series from Nickelodeon that follows the adventures of a group of curious toddlers, showing the world from their imaginative perspective. It first aired in 1991 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon. It pulls off something most cartoons never attempt. It shrinks the camera to baby size and invites us to crawl through a world we thought we already knew, mostly through a baby's eyes, yet never forgets the adult's perspective hovering at the edges. Today, I want to walk you through the tiny details that made those early seasons, especially 1 through 3, pure visual magic, and why later seasons never quite captured the same wonder. The best place to start is with the close-ups, because they're not just decoration, they're storytelling. In one scene, ice cubes skitter across a kitchen floor. In another, a parent's quick note sits scribbled on a counter. In a different episode, the old fax phone clicks and clacks under frantic typing. Tommy lifts a rubber sausage toy up to the frame, and elsewhere, a golden hand wheel is knocked free and sails through the air. At another moment, a small marble-sized bowl rolls loose. There's a shot of a baby bottle half tilted with milk, and another of a pacifier tossed across the scene. In a separate cut, crayons are spread across the floor. Somewhere else, a toddler's mug appears, and a pair of glasses catches the light. You'll find a tight glint on a soda can in one scene and a close-up of sandbox sand grains in another. Other times, the frame gives us the corner of a book, the worn scuff of a loafer, the faint shine of a lone penny, or a snail inching along a sidewalk. Each of these is presented as its own little world, small, tactile, and worthy of attention. And Rugrats lets us sit with each one before returning to the larger scene. In cinema terms, these are extreme close-ups or insert shots, framing tiny details as if they're the whole universe. Even without moving the camera, each shot feels alive, playful, and full of energy. At the same time, Rugrats mixes in actual camera movement, pans, tracking shots, and subtle shifts that follow the action. Notice how nothing cuts abruptly? Each object either flows into the next through a motivated move or, when static, pops on its own. Each shot becomes a match cut or a motivated pan, like a director chaining visual beats together in one unbroken sequence. It's a masterclass in what cinematographers call motivated camera movement. The action itself pulls us forward. Which leads me to my next point, the baby level lens. These objects work because the camera almost never rises above a toddler's knees. Tables loom like skyscrapers, parents stretch into giants. When a toy car slides across the floor, or a broccoli floret swims in a bowl of soup, the lens follows it in a single fluid motion, what live-action crews would call a tracking shot. No matter how small the action, we feel the weight of discovery, which leads naturally to something even bolder. Hidden camera magic. Rugrats often puts the camera in unusual spots, sometimes places a real camera could actually go. Characters reach toward us to hand over a bouquet or peek under the couch until their faces fill the screen. It feels like we're tucked inside the toy box, behind the sofa, or under the bed. Perspectives that are physically possible with clever staging. An almost, but not quite fourth wall break. The camera also rotates or tilts, occasionally swinging a full 180 degrees, letting us catch another character entering the scene. And yes, there are the unforgettable inside-the-mouth shots. Uncomfortable, a little shocking, but undeniably original. Later seasons toned them down, but that risk is part of what made the early years electric. Which brings me to the environment itself. Rooms that breathe. Unlike most TV animation of the era, the backgrounds here move. Tiles slide as the babies crawl, hallway patterns warp in a subtle fisheye. It's as if the entire room inhales and exhales with the story, a living set rather than a static backdrop. The show animates its backgrounds in response to character movement, creating a sense of depth and space. This subtle trick is referred to as dynamic set design and is meant to keep the audience in a constant state of curiosity and fully immersed in the baby's world. Nostalgia and texture. While all these movements plays out, the props quietly anchor us in a specific cozy past. Vintage grocery labels, faded board games, clunky cordless phones. They're not just Easter eggs. They're what filmmakers call set dressing, that carries emotional weight, details that make the world feel lived in and warmly nostalgic, which leads to perhaps the most powerful device, emotional distortion. When tension rises, the art itself twists. Crib bars close in and may loom closer or seem to stretch away, and sometimes the whole room feels like it's twisting or spiraling, as if the space itself is tumbling down a drain. Doctor syringes grow impossibly large, dentist chairs stretch like funhouse mirrors. It's pure visual metaphor, a child's fear made literal. The magic window of seasons 1 through 3. All these techniques, tracking close-ups, knee-level angles, breathing backgrounds, were at their boldest in the first 3 seasons, while Paul Germain was still co-creating and everything was hand-drawn on cells. Paul Germain departed from Rugrats in 1993, and most of the original writing team left with him to pursue other projects, including Disney's Recess. As a co-creator, Germain had been a central creative force behind the show's first seasons. Rugrats took a brief hiatus after 1994, following the first 3 seasons. It returned in 1997, though many fans feel the revival lacked the original season's distinctive energy. The babies still talked like adults, but that wild sense of discovery dimmed. The earlier Rugrats didn't just tell stories about babies. It filmed the world the way babies see it. Every penny on the sidewalk, every tilted room, every inside-the-mouth camera move is a reminder that wonder hides in the details we grown-ups overlook. That's not just good animation. It's cinema at baby scale. If you enjoyed this dive into the arts and perspective of the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Share your favorite tiny detail from the show in the comments. I'd love to hear what caught your eye as a kid, or even now. Thanks for watching!